Today, I'm not riding an e-bike, I'm riding my Brompton because the weather is awesome and I want to stretch my legs and I don't think I'm going to get a sweat on. And if you join us on our tours, you have the option between our Brompton bikes or you can have an e-bike. It's up to you. Today I'll be joined by Kevin,
Hi guys,
pedicab rider, and I'll be leading the tour on my Brompton, and we got our cameraman Taeyong. It's it's been a really nice day today.
What day is it today?
It's Friday, the 17th, is it? 17th of September. And as I was saying, it's been a really nice day today. It started this morning at around about 19 degrees centigrade. It was a little bit warm during the day, but not uncomfortable. It's nice and it's not too humid. And right now it's around about 25 degrees centigrade, so it's just comfortable. It's really nice. So hopefully you'll enjoy the ride as much as we do. Today we're going to be leaving here from Cheonggyecheon River and Gwanggyeong, the bridge we're standing on. We'll be heading east. We're going to be visiting Saiyon Plaza, a really cool building on the way down the river here. We'll make a U-turn at Dongdaemun, which is a 24-hour market. That's where K-pop gets dressed. It's a clothing market. And we'll also see the awesome Dongdaemun Design Plaza, a very famous building. We'll then be heading back this way. We'll check out a more historic neighborhood that's been used in a different way to bring it into the 21st century. And then we'll be ending at the temple Jogesa, which it really is a connection between the past and the present in a religious sense. And we'll be talking a little bit about Chuseok. Chuseok is a very important holiday here in Seoul. Everyone's getting ready for it right now. So what date's are Chuseok?
Date Chuseok is 22.
Chuseok's on the 22nd, and it changes every year. 22nd of September, which changes every year because it follows the lunar calendar. So this year is on the 22nd.
Sorry, 21st.
21st. Sorry, it's on the 21st. But it's a period, you know. Chuseok is like a period, like a 1 week holiday for everyone.
So some of our colleagues already went to their hometown because it's Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
They want to spend Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, starting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it's like 6-day holiday.
Right. So that's the trick, to kind of squeeze in a couple of extra holiday days on each side of your official holiday to stretch it out a bit. And people head out out of the city. Anyway, we'll talk more about it on the way, and we'll try out maybe a few Chuseok treats at Gwanggyeong Market. Shall we get going? All right, follow me. And this is a perfect bike lane as well. We're slightly elevated above the road, and it's for cyclists only. And I suppose the only bad thing about it, or different thing about it, is that it's on the left-hand side of the road, and of course Korea drives on the right, so that causes a little bit of confusion. But can't complain.
Friday night, just a traffic jam time, rush hour. Maybe had a little more traffic.
Yeah, we'll be expecting a bit of traffic along here as everyone's going home after work.
Everyone's going home.
But not everyone's going home. I mean, like, we're going to visit, on the way down this road, we're going to visit an area called Nogarigomo. Not everyone's going home. You'll see, not everyone's going home. Some people are walking down at the Cheonggyecheon River. Some people have finished work and they're going for a drink with their friends or colleagues just on the edge of the the white collar district here. So we'll check that out. You'll see. I don't know. How do you feel about Nogarigomo with Corona going and?
I feel really pity and sad because the size of Nogarigomo is shrinking more than 60%, I guess, 70%.
Right, so Nogarigomo is a street, as you'll see in a bit. It's a street where people gather and literally sit in the road on plastic chairs, and they order dried fish and beer and just kind of chill out after work. And as Kevin was saying, it used to be like this big street party, almost like Oktoberfest. But now it's more, now it's a smaller gathering. Obviously, because of Corona, people should be more careful about transmitting the disease. And for a while, it was shut down. One might argue that it should still be restricted a little bit more because there are still plenty of people there. But yeah, let's check it out. Hopefully we'll have time for a beer. Oh, there's just a lovely breeze that adds to that, the perfect temperature. So at this point here, more or less here, those tall modern buildings suddenly stop. This is the last one. And then we go into these lower structures. You can see on the right here. And these are businesses selling tools and work items. I'll cut over to that side. And they're all shutting down at this time. All these paint supply stores and tiling stores, they're all shutting down. And in their place, we're seeing that even in the same place, the same tile shop, they'll just put out some tables out the front and people can enjoy a beer and some dried fish or some garlic chicken. This is literally a parking space here. Oh, you didn't get to see that. But as you can see, the folded tables over there, those folded tables would all be out and we wouldn't be able to ride on this street normally. There'd be so many people literally sitting in the road on these tables. Now it's a little bit more accessible. There's still plenty of people around. And before you go in, you've got to get your corona check done. You can see outside, even though we're outside, you still sign in, let it be known where you are. Yeah, there's a lot of people, huh? And this place sells, 안녕하세요. This place sells tiles during the day and beer during the night. So that is Nogarigomo, and that's where a lot of people have been heading, amongst other places. They also might be heading to the market that we're going to just now, or to the Salem Plaza, which is originally an old building that was kind of...
Just want to mention that this store...
Oh yeah, check out Chuseok.
Is actually the original... Who organized this Nogari street. Everyone just could you mention this one?
Yeah, Supyeogyo is it's the
Entrance of the
pub right at the entrance of Nogarigomo, and it's named after a bridge which is just here, a really historic wooden bridge called Supyeogyo. So you can't forget it. And the reason we gave it a special mention is because the owner of Supyeogyo pub was the guy who really came up with the idea of selling, putting the chairs out in the streets and making the street into more of this kind of festival atmosphere, and it really took off. And just down the way, you can see the bridge going over the road. That's Saiyon Plaza. That's another cool hangout spot where some of these white-collar workers will be going to. And it's really, what can I say? It was a really old building. I want to say the 60s or 70s, something like that. Anyway, it's a very dated building. And recently, the city has been putting a lot of investment into making it, regenerating it, rejuvenating it. So a lot of art has gone into a lot of galleries, a lot of interesting shops, and a lot of coffee shops. There's places to eat there, and it's become quite a cool, trendy hangout. At the same time, there were the original businesses that sold like tools and electronics and that kind of thing in there as well. So it's this nice mix, very interesting mix of land use there. We'll be passing that shortly. One of our tour guides, he's an older gentleman, and he told me that when he was a kid, this Saiyon Plaza was where you went to get to buy VHS porn, and it was all illegally copied pornography. So he'd go there, he'd buy his cassette, and he'd wait till his parents went out, and then he'd put it in the VHS player. And he said most of the time the tape was completely blank. There was nothing on it. It got ripped off. 전화하겠습니다. That was a funny story. So the building went through kind of a dodgy period where it was all run down and mainly just not really used. 지나갑니다. This is it, Saiyon Plaza. Yeah. It's got an awesome rooftop, which we can't check out, unfortunately, because it's been closed for Corona. So the building on this side is connected to the building on the other side via this bridge going over the river. And actually this building stretches all the way through from the south of the city, south of this, well, I say the city, but like the original city of Hanyang within the city walls. It stretches from that side to the south side at Namsan, all the way to the north side here, which is Jongmyo, all the way across this Cheongcheon Valley. It's a really long building, all connected by bridges like this. And if we go into the building, it's the heart of the building here. You can see it's all kind of shutting down now, but these shops sell electronics and speakers. I like to say that you can build a TARDIS or a time machine using the equipment you'll find here. There's everything you can imagine, and a lot of it is kind of out of date. Here, Taeyeon, let's go and have a look underneath. We'll meet you out the front.
All right.
Okay. Taeyeon, follow me. I'll show you something cool. So in a recent development, they built a ramp connecting the building to the road. And underneath the ramp, of course, you scratch the surface in this neighborhood, this historic area, and you find archaeology. So this was found underneath the building, and they decided to leave it open for us to enjoy. It's a Joseon Dynasty building of some sort. And if you look closely, you can see bits of pot, bits of ceramic. Most of these are foundations, the foundations of the building. But of course, everything falls down. So in the foundations, amongst the foundations, you can see ceramics and pot and cups. And these date back to the Joseon dynasty. So we're talking 17th to 18th century here. Some parts, it says, date back to the 15th, 16th century. Incredible. The early Joseon period would be the 15th century, and late Joseon period would be obviously the 18th. But yeah, it's all represented here. And even down to the modern contemporary period, there's bits of concrete foundations mixed in there as well. This is a kind of a cool feature discovered here underneath this building. We also down there have a really nice toilet, a really nice public toilet. It's much better than the one that used to be here, believe me. Oh, hello. Welcome to the evening e-bike tour. Welcome to Seoul. So if you glance back behind, you can see what's on top of that ramp that we were just under there. And it's the front facade to the Saiyon Plaza, the Saiyon Maker City. And it's normally got some kind of art installation on this ramp, reflecting the Maker City status of the building. It's a place where you're supposed to be creative, and there's a lot of art spaces in there. And I think that's spitting water at me. Yeah, that's spitting water at me. Yeah, there's a lot of this is produced inside that building. It's not raining, it's the water. Yeah. Okay, well, let's get back into that traffic and head over to Dongdaemun Market, which is a very, very famous street food market here in the capital, Seoul.
This time,
Are you hungry?
I will go to the West Gate. I mean, we go the narrow road.
Okay.
I will go turn around detour and then see you at the
Near the hot dog?
hotel.
Oh dear, someone's had an accident.
Yeah, they got it.
I'm gonna ride on the road, Saiyon.
Okay.
So at this point, Seoul's really, bike lanes in Seoul are awesome. They're really great, and people respect them. They more or less stay out of them the majority of the time if they're on the road. Pedestrians are not so great when they're on the sidewalk. But on the road, majority of the time, the cars will stay out of them. Occasionally, it's a share road like that, where the road and the cars and the bikes are expected to share the same lane. That can be a little bit uncomfortable at this time, rush hour. But all in all, Seoul's a fantastic place to ride. All right, let's do it. So I'm standing here at this entrance to Dongdaemun Market. It doesn't look like much from the outside. It's got the sign at the top there, Dongdaemun Shijang. But when you get inside, it is huge. It's got everything. So this first section is mainly clothing, the kind of clothing that an older Korean person might wear, a middle-aged person might wear. On the second floor here, there's vintage clothing, which is really trendy here in Korea. It's kind of like 80s style, old jackets and jeans and tracksuits that were popular in those shell suits that are popular in the 80s. You'll find them up there. And then further inside, in about the middle section, on the second floor, There's traditional Korean dresses and attire that you might wear for a wedding or a special occasion. It's beautiful. It's called the hanbok. And if you were to buy a hanbok here, it would take you, they would make it custom for you, and it would take about 2 to 3 days to make. Cost you around about $200, and honestly, it'll fit like a glove, and it will be the best quality materials. So this is the place to buy it at a bargain. But the place we're heading to today is the street food market, where let's see, it was made famous by Gordon Ramsay, I think, came here in a Netflix special or something like that. Come on, let's go in, I'll show you. They've got pictures of Obama in here.
Oh, it's live. Wow.
Hi there, just got your message. Yeah, it's live. That's why I'm making so many mistakes. So yeah, this is the example of the hanbok that I was telling you about. These are more kind of like children's hanboks, of course. They're kind of small. If you want more of a variety, you head on to the second floor here. So last week we came here maybe 15 to 20 minutes later than today, and everything was closed in this section. It really closes fast. Of course, in the daytime, it's a bustling clothing market, but as I said, we're heading through this section to the food, and we're going to try some, I don't know, what do you normally eat at Chuseok? What's Chuseok food?
Chuseok,
Maybe we should have something very Chuseok-y. Dog? Is there a special kind of dog that we have? Songpyeong, is it called?
Songpyeong.
Songpyeong. I forget the pronunciation. Maybe we can find some of that in here. It's soju. I would love to have some soju. Go stop. Yes, I do. I think Taeyong is trying to steal my money.
And then the Jackie Chan movie.
Jackie Chan movies. Okay. All right. That's my Chuseok plan. I'm going to eat sompyeong, which is like a sticky rice cake with honey and like a grain in the center usually. It's very soft, yeah. And I'm going to play Go Stop, which is a Korean card game. Normally played for money. And I'm going to drink soju, which is the Korean rice, Korean wine. It's not rice, but it's like it's an alcohol at around about 20%. It's a 20% wine. I think it's made for a sweet potato, is it?
Sorry?
Is it made with sweet potato, goguma?
Oh no.
Not sure. Anyway, it's good. And yeah, that's how I'll serve my Chuseok. Chuseok is like Thanksgiving. In America, they have Thanksgiving in around about November time. In Korea, beginning of fall, there's this harvest festival that celebrates, a time of plenty, and it's also about giving respects to your ancestors as well. So there'll be a cheza, which is food prepared for the ancestors, and then you bow and you offer. It's a Confucius thing to offer respect to the old elders, people who came before. Look at this.
Yakwa.
Ah, yakwa.
What's Korean traditional snack? Yakwa.
So here we have yakwa. Is this fried?
I don't know. 이거 뭐지? 튀긴 거예요? 이거는 약간. 튀겨서. Yes.
All right. Okay. So it's made of flour mixed with honey and then deep fried. This is calorie heaven here. You can fly to the moon after eating one of these. But they're fantastic gifts to take back home with you if you want to go. Like you can't take certain things back to overseas, but this is one of those things that I recommend to my customers because you can take this back home and everybody loves them. 감사합니다, 사장님. You know what I really want to try? I want to try some. I want to try some banchan. Banchan.
Hancha.
Yeah, let's find some banchan. Oh, look here.
This is something, right?
This is Songpyeong, right? Okay. Songpyeong. 여기 안에 뭐가 들어가요? 깨. 깨 is like a sesame seed. That will be crushed up and put inside. 꿀도 있어요? Honey. 꿀. Oh, in this one it doesn't. She's explaining. This one doesn't have any honey in it, but sometimes they do. Not this one. 감사합니다. Ah, look at this.
Date?
Is that you?
Maybe? Yes, it.
That's dates. That's you. And these are delicious.
데이트요. 데이트. 데이트하다 했다 그러죠. 데이트한다 그러잖아요. 그 데이트예요.
데이트?
네.
영어로 데이트예요. 데이트.
비비추가 아니고
데이트.
데이트.
네, 데이트. 남녀가 데이트한다 그러잖아요. 그 데이트예요.
얼마요?
여기 10,000원, 5,000원.
5,000원만큼 주세요. I love 데이트. Oh, when it's fresh like this, it's fantastic. No, I'm from England. 영국에서 왔어요.
영국.
네.
영국 신사.
가끔요.
영국 신사. 아 그러니까 저기 미국 영하고 다르구나.
아, 예, 좀 달라요. 아니요, 근데
영어는
미국에서도
비비추라고 그러는데
미국에서도 데이트라고 해요.
감사합니다.
감사합니다. 감사합니다. 또 뭐라 그래?
Thank you.
그거 똑같은 땡큐.
네.
very much.
단어 거의 똑같은데 억양이랑 약간 사투리 같아요. 영국 영어랑 미국 영어 사투리 같아서 억양이만 달라요.
맞아요.
네.
한국말 잘하네. 어감도
Yeah, finally I've got a date. 감사합니다.
감사합니다. Thank you very much.
Thank you. 안녕히 계세요. Date.
대추. 남녀 데이트한다.
감사합니다. All right. Ever since you mentioned dates this morning, I wanted to eat them. So we'll have this for dessert. Save these for later. Oh, and this place here, we got to stop by here. This is banchan, Korean side dishes. Let's check it out. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. This is one of my favorite places to buy side dishes in Seoul. They have the selection of everything that you might want. What I do is I'll keep a tub of something like this or something like that in the fridge, and I'll pull it out I'll boil some rice. I'll have a bowl of rice and some of this on the side, and I can mix different combinations of my side dishes to make a different meal each time. It's very, very convenient. Now, if I were to try and make it myself, I wouldn't be quite so enthusiastic. Oh, let's give it a try. 사장님 감사합니다. 이게 뭐예요?
낙지.
낙지. Is
octopus.
octopus. Okay. So this is raw octopus. Let's give it a go.
Okay.
It's good.
Good?
Really good.
있어요.
맛있어요. Actually, I'll be honest, this is one of the first times I've tried the octopus here, and it's really, really good. Good job. You want to try some? 진짜 맛있어요.
진짜 맛있어요.
You know what?
It's very tasty. Like
Let's get some of that.
어디 분이에요?
저 이게 5,000원만큼 준비해 주시겠어요? 네, 제가
앉았으면 있는데 어디서?
그거 뭐예요? 대추예요? 매실.
진짜 맛있어요.
매실이에요? Not sure what this is. 매실인가?
이미 먹었어요.
매실? Okay. Let's try.
next is very good. We're done
이거 5,000원.
감사합니다. So 매실 is, throw this away. 매실 is like a plum, I guess.
Yeah, kind of plum.
It's a kind of plum. So what I'm tasting is very tart, and also it's got the red sauce, which has made it very spicy. So it's that sweet and tartness and the spiciness. It really pops in your mouth.
요 낙지, 아니 오징어.
오징어.
내가 많이 주는 거예요.
So
service?
맛있게 잡수시라고.
we got a little bit extra service. It's a slightly different type of. I think this is nakji and this is ojingo. But one of them is octopus and the other one's squid. And of course, there's also the crabs down here. Some of these are freshwater crab, some of them are seawater crab, but they're all eaten raw, just pickled in soy sauce. Oh wow, that meshel is so powerful. I can breathe better. Kevin was just saying it was good for digestion. 5,000원입니다.
5,000원만 주세요.
오. 감사합니다.
What is this?
This is the meshel without the sauce on it. Give it a try, Kev. Tell us what you think. Bringing in our resident meshel experts. How does it taste?
My mom told me that if you have a stomach ache, try to eat meshil egg. Or meshil is this kind of food, and meshil has like a kind of like alcohol functions.
Okay.
So killing the bad bacteria.
Right, I see.
So if you meshil use it for someone who especially kid, because it's sweet.
Right.
So who got a stomach ache, just make them tea or some kind of that fruit.
뭘 하시는 거예요?
매실 액.
차를
저희 어머니는
아,
이게
근데 왜 이걸 썼어요?
외국 분들이 너무 반갑고. 저희 어머니는 배 아프면은 매실액을 드시더라고요. 네. 그러면은 좋아진다고.
맛이 어떠세요?
맛있어요. 잘 먹었습니다.
Well, there we go. This is the Korean banchan, and I'll get my 감사합니다. 잘 먹을게요.
거기다 넣으셔. 이거 대추 그리 넣어.
이게 대추입니다.
그리
드실래요?
아니, 대추 넣으셔.
넣으래.
아, 여기 안에. 아, I see. 좋은 아이디어입니다. 감사합니다. 안녕히 계세요.
자전거 안 가져왔어요, 자전거.
안 들려요.
자전거 안 가져왔냐고.
이거예요, 이거.
그거 제 거예요. 나머지는 거 밖에 주차했어요. 네.
어머니 감사합니다.
감사합니다, 어머님. She's lovely. She's always there. She's always very inquisitive. But so I always stop by. But to be honest, the market is famous for this here. This is something called bindaedok. It's made from mung bean mixed with vegetables, and if it's mixed with a little bit of pork, then it's this one down here, and it's called gogi wangja. So I definitely recommend trying some of this. Is this Chuseok food?
Yes, definitely. My family used to make dongbin cake, especially in Chuseok.
Okay.
It's very hard work actually. You have to grind it, you have to mix it, like that. Fry it, that one?
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time.
Yeah, I can imagine. Oh, 죄송합니다. So, should we get some?
Oh yeah, sure.
You guys hungry?
Unfortunately, the popular one is very crowded right now.
Right. Yeah, I think that it's the same place though.
Same place.
Yeah. So let's get it here. Did you get a shot of the mung bean mix? That's what we're eating. And maybe let's try just the wangja today.
All right,
Yeah?
not heavy one.
Not a heavy one. Okay.
You have a cash?
I just spent it all. But I can use the card. They take card here.
Okay.
안녕하세요.
네.
주문해도 돼요?
포장하시려고요?
네.
몇 장 드려요?
고기 왕자 하나만 주세요.
포장해드려요?
네. 컵에다가 컵에다가 주시겠어요? 이거 고기 왕자 하나.
He
Oh.
said that he's full.
He's full. Oh, Taeyong's not eating. Well, 근데 하나만 주세요. 네.
언니 카드는 돼요?
So while our gogi wangja is cooking, why don't we have a quick look around? And we'll take a walk down. Can I leave the card with you? Yeah. Follow me. So this over here is called John, like my cousin John. It's flour, vegetables. It's like a pancake, but it's got vegetables in it. It's a savory pancake. Over here you see stuff like the tteokbokki, the spicy rice cake there, and the fish cake. There's pork feet and chicken feet. 닭발이죠? 닭발이에요. Okay. 네, 아까 네, 이동했어요.
왔어요 이제.
오랜만에요. 똑같은 회사예요?
아니라.
아니요? 따로 사업했구나요. 좋아요.
자전거 타요?
네네. 근데 요새 촬영도 하고, 네, 온라인에서,
올리고 유튜브
외국 분들 요새 코로나 때문에 한국으로 못 와요. 그래서 그냥, 동영상 봐요.
멋있어요.
추석 잘 보내세요. So that's the lady. She recognized me. She used to work at the binde dog stand, and she's moved to selling tteokbokki now. So yeah, it was good to see her. It's been a long time. Oh, must have been. Gosh, it must have been last year, maybe.
Last year?
Last year, yeah. It's been a long time.
보이스탕 이런 거는 무슨 보이스탕을 먹어?
Okay, and it goes on, as you can see. Lots of places, lots of food. Let's go back and get our wangja. I'm feeling anxiety as I'm moving away from my food. Oh, you can see here this is what we're going to eat. See the meat mixed in. That's pork in there. And here, you can see this is beef tartar. This is another delicacy here at the market. It just comes with an egg on top, or you can mix it with the raw octopus, which is what I ate earlier, except without the sauce, like an unmarinated version of raw octopus. And you can see they're all in the tank over there, waiting to go. Poor little fellas. So it would look something like this here. Oh, that looks good, doesn't it? Japchae. Do you like japchae?
No.
No, what?
Yeah.
Who doesn't like japchae?
I know, I'm Korean, but I don't like.
I've lost a lot of trust with my cameraman. Everyone loves japchae. It's like the party food. Oh, fantastic! There it is. This is my gogi wangja. I'll be sharing it with Kev in a moment, and we'll see what it tastes like. But let's head out. Let's head out. Did you get the receipt?
Yes.
All right. Oh, really? What, because business is bad, or?
I don't know. There seems seems like there's no more resources.
I actually met the lady who used to work there. She'd moved to a tteokbokki stand down the road, and she recognized me. She said that she stopped working here. I wonder if it's connected. Oh, it'd be really sad if this place dies off.
Yes. It was used to be very proud and very popular.
Yeah, we would never bring our bicycle in here before. It was just too crowded to walk through.
Someone
Okay.
is very interesting our picture.
Yep. So here we are in front of the west gate of the market, and I'm going to try the gogi wangja. Now let's put down my shopping. Okay. There you go.
Take this.
Oh, take that one then. That's all right. It's not too hot. Okay, here we go.
Nice.
That's good. Are you sure you don't want some?
No.
맛있어.
나 배불러.
한 입만 먹어봐.
진짜 맛있어.
그러면은 나 화장실 가야 돼. If I eat this, so I need.
I think Taeyong's having some gastric issues. He's trying to be polite about. But this is really good. I can taste the scallions in here. So there's a little bit of a sweet. Thank you. A little bit of sweetness to it. I can taste the pork, fried pork, and you can't go wrong. And it's all held together with that mung bean paste that we saw earlier, and it's also got some onion in there as well.
Where's the onion?
There's the onion
Ah,
there.
yeah.
Yep.
I found.
And the only thing that would stop me eating this is when I popped. Really good. I wonder if we can see any Chuseok presents around. I see that gentleman's got one over there. But it's traditional in Korea to take a box of presents to your relative's house when you visit. It could be anything from fruits to I don't know, what's another, like seaweed, or there's so many different things you could take, but amongst them is spam. Spam is considered a great luxury gift to give at Chuseok. But anything of abundance, anything in abundance handed to the relatives is a lovely Chuseok present. Where did Taeyong go? Okay. So Kev, are you going anywhere this Chuseok?
Actually, my dad is the first son. So people are gathering at my house.
So that is that how it normally works? The family goes to the eldest son? Isn't it the parents' house?
In the ancient, it's the traditional way. The elder sons mostly serve the parent. So going to the parents' house means they're going to the first son's house.
Right, so normally they all live together.
These days, it's not anymore. The concept of family concept is not anymore very majestic or popular in South Korea. So
Things are changing.
things are changing.
How about you, Taeyong? 어디가? 추석 때 어디가?
Stay home.
Stay home.
Oh.
I just stay home.
That sounds good to me too. Okay, well, thanks for joining me for my snack. Let's get back on the road. The traffic hasn't improved, but fortunately, we've got this speed machine to get us down. Are you going to be able to get down here? Or should I go back to Cheongcheon?
We should go back.
All right. We'll head back to the Cheongcheon River to the special separate bike lane down there.
Turn right.
Yeah. Hopefully you'll be able to squeeze through with me. Are you going to stay on the sidewalk? Okay. So here, again, when you need the bike lane the most, it's been a share road. I'm riding on a share road right now. There's no separate bike lane at this point. It's funny how the bike lane disappears when you need it the most. However, it's not so bad. You know, the lanes are nice and wide here, so quite comfortably riding along the side of the road. Much faster than the traffic. We'll make a right here. So this is going to take me to, if I come down this road here, this is going to take me to back to the river, which runs parallel to that main road over there, and we can follow the river on the bike lane, which of course isn't obstructed by traffic. So good times. You'll see this is the beginning, that blue light there, that's the beginning. Oh, it's red now, green, blue. That's the beginning of the Pyongyang Fashion Plaza, which is this stretch, this long shopping mall that heads to the heart of Dongdaemun Market, which is over there, the Dusan Tower, where you find Duta. It's a fashion shopping mall. If you joined us for the morning e-bike tour, you'll notice, you'll remember that from our views. We always pointed that out. Yeah.
Right, very slowly.
Do you think you can get on the bike lane with the pedicab? Probably not, right?
I will try it.
All the lights are so beautiful.
Yeah, this time it's really beautiful. And if you look behind us, you can see the sky is also beautiful.
Like that way.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Okay, I will use the bike lane.
You're going to use bike lane. I will ride behind you.
Yeah, summer night vibe.
Okay, so Kevin and Taeyong are daring to take the pedicab on the bike lane, which is just narrow enough, just wide enough, I should say, to accommodate the pedicab there. Let's see how it goes. So for those who've just joined, welcome to Seoul. Welcome to the evening e-bike tour. I am riding down the Cheongcheon River, which is just on my left-hand side here. I'm riding east towards the Dongdaemun Market, which is where K-pop gets dressed. It's a 24-hour clothing market, and I'm from England. So when I go to London, Liverpool Street, and I go to a shop owned by a Korean person selling K-fashion, the majority of the clothes I find there are manufactured or bought from this market. It's amazing. People come from around the world to buy wholesale here, and the best time to come is midnight, because at midnight everything is open. The daytime markets and the nighttime markets. So we're heading down that way right now. Traffic jam. Sometimes people walk in the bike lane, which is not encouraged. That wasn't bad, Kev. I think we can make it.
Yeah, we have only 40 meters away.
Or we could go down here. There's a way through this way.
Yeah,
Let's try that. All right. So now we're really in the heart of the market. This part of the market is mainly closed because this is a daytime market section. But we're heading into kind of the back alleys around the back of the Duta building, the Dusan building. Trying to avoid the traffic. And when we come out on the main road, what you should see is an awesome building called the Dongdaemun Design Plaza. Now the Dongdaemun Design Plaza was designed by a British architect. Her name is Zaha Hadid, and the building was built in 2014, and she had a lot of trouble when the building was built because her designs didn't incorporate or couldn't incorporate a lot of the architecture and artifacts, sorry, not architecture, archaeology and artifacts that they found under the ground as they were constructing the building. There it is. Oh, brief glimpse there. So as I was saying, when they were building the building, the plans changed a lot because they couldn't just cover up these ancient Joseon dynasty remains. So they changed the design of the building to incorporate them. And we'll see a little bit of that when we go inside. What do you think about the building, Kev? Do you like it? I mean, architecturally? Yeah, the Seoul is full of these small, interesting alleys. One alley is completely different from the next. Whenever someone visits Korea, I always say to them, the big streets are interesting, the big streets are nice, but they're all kind of the same. When you get into the alleys, that's when you're really seeing the character of the neighborhood. Okay, so here we are. As you can see, the Dongdaemun Design Plaza is covered in these tiles. There are a total of 55,000 tiles here. Oh. There are a total of 55,000 tiles on this building, and every single one of them is unique. 55,000, what's that in Korean? Oman 5,000? 55,000. 55,000, that's right. There's 55,000 tiles on this building. Crazy.
What? 50,000?
55,000, yeah.
Ah, okay. Really?
Yeah. 타일 5만 5천 원 개 있어. 그리고 다 달라. This part of the building I think is awesome, where it's like an amoeba, it kind of hangs over. It's almost like it's defying gravity, like curling over the plaza below. What we'll do is we'll go around the corner here and shoot down into the plaza, so you can see where the subway exit is and where the underground mall entrance is. Those are two of the land uses here. Subway, underground mall. It's also a museum, a wonderful public space, garden. And as you can see down there, that area down there that's exposed, those are Joseon Dynasty remains. We're talking like 13th century, 14th century remains down there that they found by chance under the building as they were building it and had to incorporate that into the design. It really is a coming together of the super modern and the super traditional and old. And then the modern. It does look a lot like a UFO, doesn't it? Yeah. Take me to your leader. I do that.
What's that?
You know, from Star Trek? You
No.
guys don't watch Star Trek? You take me to your... Never mind.
Never mind.
Okay, moving on. Kev, should we ride through or go around?
Go around.
Let's go around, okay. So when you look at the lights in the building here, they change color as well. It kind of looks a bit like a cuttlefish. It changes color, changes shape. Some of the other features of the building is it has a rooftop garden. So the roof is covered in grass. It's also a conference center. And it's a design museum. I think I mentioned that earlier. I saw you guys. I saw you.
Okay.
I saw you. Okay, moving on. I'll race you there. Let's go. Now we're speeding around to the backside of the Dongdaemun Design Plaza, and this is where we'll find like the wholesale night markets. Incidentally, the neighborhood has also got quite a thriving Russian community around here. So if you ever want Russian meat pies or Russian baked goods, this is the neighborhood to find them. Now before we go to the night markets, which are ahead of us, here we can really appreciate the beautiful lights of the city. If you look out ahead of us there, you can see all the daytime markets, which are probably coming to a close fairly soon. You can also see the Seoul Tower just poking up above that advertisement sign there in the distance there. That's the Seoul Tower on Namsan. You can see the large lights over here. Any idea what used to be on this land before it was the Dondemon Design Plaza? I'll give you a hint. Check out those land before it was the Dondemon Design Plaza. I'll give you a hint. Check out those lights. Where can you find lights like that? What kind of stadium?
Baseball stadium.
Exactly. 10 points to Kevin. This was a baseball stadium at this location, and they destroyed the baseball stadium, but homage to the past, they left the lights. It wasn't an accident, it was deliberately done, so we could remember. So we've got a documentation of the future UFO visitors. We've got the middle time, the baseball stadium, and then of course, if you look over the wall here, we're looking back to the Joseon Dynasty, where you can see Joseon remains archaeology below. What a wonderful space. All right, guys, let's go shopping.
That road is very bad right now, so maybe do exactly opposite. Go back, cross the street, use the back street where we just passed.
Right.
Then we just turn right.
Cross the bridge
Cross
there
the bridge.
and take Cheongcheon.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go down this way so we can curl around to the crosswalk. Okay, off we go. It's gonna be bumpy. So Dongdaemun, this is the Dongdaemun Market, and it's Dongdaemun, which means East Gate. And the reason it's called the East Gate Market is because there used to be, well, there still is, a gate in the city wall. If you look over the wall here, you can see there's the remains to the city wall. And if you were to look, if you look down the street to my right, you can see there is Hungin-jimun, the east gate that the market gets its name from. Now my question is, oh, and you can see the city wall all lit up back there as well. My question is, why is there a market near the gate of the city? Why is there a market near the gate of the city? It's pretty obvious when you think about it. I'll tell you. Of course, the gate of the city is where people will be coming and going. There's a lot of traffic. And so, of course, it's a great place to have a market. And the East Gate is not the only gate in the city that has a market. There's also the South Gate Market, Namdaemun Shijang, and, well, the North Gate's up in the mountains, so probably less popular. And then there's, of course, the West Gate, which it doesn't exist anymore, being destroyed. There's also a lot of military back in the day, in the Joseon Dynasty. The military was based just outside the East Gate to protect the city. So that was another good reason for a market to be there, since the military did a lot of trading. Is that the Last Supper up there? So this chap who's half buried here in the bridge, he's a very famous, I guess a martyr. Is he a martyr? What's his name?
Tail.
Chon Tae-il.
He was the labor activist.
He was a labor activist, and he's here at this very kind of blue-collar working area to inspire us about his efforts, through his efforts for fairer working conditions. I think you have to take the street here. Oh, look at the lights. We're heading back to the city. Well, from the city to the city. Okay. Look at him go. Daringi power there. Daringi is not electronic bikes. Daringi is the name of the city bike here in Korea. And in Seoul, sorry, not in Korea, in Seoul, because every city has, a lot of cities have public share bikes, but here in Seoul, they're called the Daringi. 감사합니다. And they're very convenient. It costs just 1,000 won for 1 hour. They've got 3 gears. Nice wide saddle, very comfortable. They weigh about 14 to 15 kilograms, which is heavy, but you know, they're beach cruisers, so you know, they're very comfortable bikes to ride on. They have them in different sizes. They have children's ones, mid-size ones, and they also have adult ones. You can adjust the seat with one hand, and they've got this Dutch locking mechanism on the back wheel, so you don't actually have to put them in a bike stand. You can just lock the back wheel and leave them besides one of the rental stations, which is kind of handy. It's not at the point where you can just leave them anywhere. There are some bikes that you can do that with, but not Daringi. You have to be at a station. Let's go. So in that situation there, that's where it gets confusing, because we're on the left-hand side of the road. What we don't realize when we're on this side of the road, when the light is red ahead of us, the pedestrian crosswalk, the sidewalk, is the pedestrian crossing is on green, and we are allowed to travel with the pedestrians as cyclists. So technically, I didn't run a red light back there. Although because I couldn't see the signal at the pedestrian crossing, which was on green, we were waiting. Oh. Anyway, small gripe. Very small. This is fantastic. This was such a nice ride. If you just joined us, the date is September the 17th. We're live here in Seoul. This is the evening e-bike tour. I'm riding a Brompton today. And I'm going to pull to the side to let this gentleman pass. 안녕하세요. So is it legal to ride a kickboard on the bicycle road in Korea?
Yes, now, but you guys, they have to get a driver license and be a little bit more strict. You have to wear a helmet.
Right, so you have to wear a helmet, you have to have a driver's license, and then you can drive an electric kickboard, and you can drive it in the bicycle lane legally.
Not
Not the pedestrian road though, either on the road with the cars
hard
or in the bicycle lane. Those two are fine. But then you also have to wear a helmet to ride a daringi, the public bikes, but there is no fine for not wearing a helmet when riding a bicycle. Interestingly, so it's the law, you have to wear a helmet, but there's no fine if you don't. Needless to say. A lot of people don't wear helmets. Almost lost you guys. So here we are back at the Salem Plaza and we're heading underneath. I got carried away on that beautiful bike lane. And as you can see now, all the shops are closed. We're going to head back to the main road that just had much too much traffic on it earlier. Across to a site which is a memorial complex, a traditional complex built to remember old kings, the ancestors of kings of the past. And that building, you'll see just in one moment over there, is literally, it's a palace inside. It's a massive area and it's dedicated to the main kings. It's actually quite fitting to visit here during Chuseok because, of course, Chuseok is a time you remember the ancestors as well. And thanks. Wonderful place to ride. I can almost see the stars. There's so many lights that it's hard to see the stars, but if you stare long enough, you can see them. If you really want to see the stars, you have to join our camping event. We have a fantastic camping event outside the city called Slow Stay. You can find out information on slowstay.co.kr. And Slow Stay is a camping event, and you will definitely see the stars out there in Gangwon-do or on the island event at Haengsong. At Soijakdo. Right. So we're going to whiz down here. During the daytime in these shops here, you can buy literally one glass of soju. Normally you can't, you'd have to buy a bottle of soju. Huh? Can you go there? Oh, right, okay. Yes, right here you can see it wrapped in that bundle in the cloth. You can see the Chuseok presents that are getting packed away in this taxi. He's probably going to see his family.
Two pumpkins.
That's not breakfast. Taxis in Seoul are very reasonably priced, I think. How much? What's the 기본 요금?
I don't know.
When you get in a taxi, what's the basic price?
2,700원?
No, it's more than that. Isn't it? 4,500원?
Maybe.
4,500원.
Almost 4,000 won.
Or maybe just 4,000?
3,700원? I don't know.
It's around about 4,000 won, I think. Whereas in England, when you get in a taxi, as soon as you sit down, it's at least 15,000원.
Wow.
Immediately. At least 15,000 won. As soon as you sit down.
저기 브리티시가 있던데.
So we were just following the wall of Jongmyo Shrine on that beautiful little street. And now we're cutting into a neighborhood called Insadong. And just on the edge of Insadong is a smaller neighborhood called Xongdong. which is famous for, first of all, pork barbecue restaurants, and secondly, because of its it's an area that has a lot of traditional Korean houses that would have been residential originally, but are now being used as commercial properties, coffee shops, restaurants, and it's got kind of like a 50s theme to the neighborhood. It's kind of cool. You'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. Wow! And of course, there's all this street food out here. Fantastic. Okay, mate. See you soon.
I'll carry it.
Okay. Yep. Go. Yeah, let's go in. Nice weather. Everyone's out today. Go ahead.
In Korea, how many is the safety from Corona?
Corona is, I guess the status of Corona in Korea is, well, it's much better than England, it's much better than America, and in my opinion, it's much better than most countries because I think the tracking of the disease here in Korea is very efficient. The Korean government is diligently tracking where people are going. Whenever you enter a property, you have to use your phone to check in to that restaurant or bar. This is all done through QR code. It's not going to work now, is it? So I press this button here, and the QR code should pop up. Oh, typical. And I can use this QR code to enter this restaurant, sit down and eat. And if anyone in this restaurant is found to have been infected with corona, then they will inform me, they'll contact me, inform me, and I'll have to get myself checked out, and it will be a legal obligation to do so. So through this system of tracking, they've managed to identify who's got the disease and who's at risk of catching the disease and narrow it right down. So there are very few cases in comparison to the UK and America and even Japan. And I would suspect that things are much worse in other countries than even the records show because the tracking is so bad. At least here in Korea, we get a genuinely good picture of what's going on. The reason so many people are out right now is because we're only allowed to go out here in Korea up until 10 o'clock. And you're only allowed to go out in groups of up to 4 people at the moment. So, you know, that restriction helps everyone, helps keep the disease under control. However, because it's Chuseok, there are special rules for Chuseok to give everyone a little bit of a break, because Koreans have been really good at following these rules and keeping numbers down. So the Chuseok rule is that you're allowed to gather up to 8 people. And are you allowed to stay out later than 10 o'clock? It might have changed the curfew time as well. Let's have a quick walk down here. I think this street really does show the nature of this neighborhood as it is today. So these houses, have a glance here. This is a Hanok Home.
Wow.
This would have been a residential property and it would have been divided into rooms on the inside. However, now the walls have been removed to make it nice and open so that they can put this boutique here. And so it's a traditional Korean home that's been used to sell Korean Korean modern clothing. And here the same thing again, only it's a restaurant. And on this side, they've really gone all out and created a French restaurant. Monstu. And this one's even got a train track running through it. That's pretty cool. And of course, still the traditional exterior. That's a really cool modern fusion take on the traditional Korean building, which is called the Hanok. That looks like, is that London fog? Oh, no, it's not. It's London Porter. There's a very famous beer called London Fog. I thought they were selling it there. These are real. 진짜야, 진짜.
What is this?
It's
like
it's like a fir. 냄새 맡아봐.
ah.
It's got a lovely aroma, almost like a lemongrass aroma. Okay, I don't know if we. Let's try the next street. Kevin's probably wondering where we are, so. Let's see, if my memory serves me, we should be able to go back just over here, past the Thai restaurant. Ah, yes, here we go. Oh, look at that, we've got a map. And it's got a history. Insadong was the noble place for a modest-sized palace called Nudong Palace, where the royal family resided. In 1920, as the population of Seoul rapidly increased, it led to a deficiency of houses for living. Under the circumstances, Seogdong, 정세권,
세관정.
okay, led the housing development program of Xongdong. Is he the guy who also did Bukchon,
Yes.
Hanok Village?
All all Hanok Village make the what is it? This man so.
Okay.
All village.
So he was like a guy who redeveloped Korean the city, parts of the neighborhoods in the city in the 1920s, and his goal was to make affordable housing for Korean people during a period of Japanese occupation. I'll just show you this before we go by. This is a pretty cool take on the Hanok, the hanbok, a Korean traditional clothing, but this is more of a modern twist to it, in a kind of 50s feel, I guess. Look at me pretending I know about fashion. Anyway, so that gentleman, he took the large estates and properties that would have been in this area that Koreans could no longer afford, only the occupying Japanese could afford, and he divided them up into smaller houses like the ones we're seeing right now. So according to that, most of these houses will have been built in the 20s and 30s, 1920s, 1930s, during that period. And if you joined us for the morning e-bike tour, you'll see that we visited a neighborhood called Bukchon Hanok Village, which was also redeveloped by the same gentleman during the same period. The only difference between here and there is that today the land use of this neighborhood is commercial, and that neighborhood is still residential to this day. Ice cream. Mangwon-dong that's one of the words that I can never remember. I can't say it. Dessert. Mangwon dessert place. This place sells rice cakes. Should we go in and have a look?
Sure.
Okay. So these are, they've got a center Traditionally, it would be a bean, red bean, wrapped in sticky rice cake. But this one has a number of different ones. That one's covered in coconut. This one's covered in like black sesame. This one's got nuts on it. Oh, this one looks good with the sesame coating on the outside. That's delicious.
Yeah, and then I don't know what.
Chapsal dok. That's what it says. But the one that I wanted to show you were some of the more traditional ones. So this one here, it gets its green color from a weed that grows in the grass called suk. And you mix that with rice, you mash it together with rice, sticky rice, and then you wrap it around. Usually it's like some kind of like sesame seed paste, or sometimes it's red bean paste on the inside. And this one won't have any honey on it. Whereas this one over here, these ones, the gurdok, these ones have honey inside as well. And these are all things that you would eat over Chuseok as with your family, and maybe offer them for Chesa as well. These are kind of interesting. I like them. Look at that. That's colorful. So this is a twist, a modern twist on the traditional. I like that.
Wow.
Oh, I could eat all of this. It's yummy. Okay.
So when we go out, just turn right. Don't turn left. We don't straight. Turn right. Cross the road and then turn right to go into the.
Turn left.
No.
So we're going to go through
세운상가.
낙원상가?
낙원상가 underneath.
Underneath, and then turn left.
Turn left.
Into.
And then when we cross it, then in Insadong, turn right.
Right, and then left.
Left.
Okay. Where's Taeyong gone? Oh, he's over there. Okay, let's get back out into the real world. We're just gonna go down this road to another building that was built around about the same time as the Salem Plaza that we were at earlier. It's another. Oh, there goes my battery. It's another shopping complex that's built above a road, just like the one we were at Saiyon Plaza earlier. And this one is called Nagwon Sangha. Nagwon Sangha is famous for musical instruments. If you want to buy or fix your, if you want to buy or fix your musical instruments, you go in here and you can get them. Normally stringed instruments like guitar or violin, cello. You see this shop sells all guitars here. And if you haven't been here for a while, it's worth revisiting, because on the top floor is a cinema. Almost forgot. On the top floor of this building is a cinema. You go up those stairs, and it plays old movies from like the 40s and 50s. It's really cool. So we've come out the other side of Nagwon Sangha. You can see the sign above it over there. And what we're going to do is we're going to go down that road to the right, just over there where those cars are. And that will take us to a street called
Insadong.
Insadong. What's Insadong famous for?
It was not a market before. After Joseon Dynasty just being fallen by Japanese colonial period, most of the royal and higher state what's it called?
The furniture?
I mean, yeah, but the royal family and the higher state family, or the servant who used to serve the king, lost their job, so they need to be survived because it was difficult to get a job during the Japanese colonial period. So they carry their furniture to the closest place where it is connected with the Jongno. Jongno was the main market.
Right.
Dongdaemun Market is already already operated. They don't have
There's no space.
no space,
Right.
so they carry it here and try to sell it their stuff. And lots of like treasures and national treasures, paint, letters, furniture, even dishes. So-called China.
Yeah, China, bone China. Yeah.
Was traded.
And this is where they brought their belongings to sell.
Yes.
And as a result, we have the street that we're on right now, which is still somewhat of a market street to this day. But it's where you might buy souvenirs at this point. So normally lots of tourists are here, and not today. I would say it's relatively quiet today. Certainly not tourists. These people are locals out shopping. Where we're heading to at the moment is a neighborhood, is a temple called Joge Temple, Jogesa. And that temple is really awesome during the daytime. So you will have seen us that we visited that temple earlier today for the morning e-bike tour. Such a wonderfully peaceful and serene place, escape from the busy city. However, at nighttime, it's a disco. No, it's not a disco. It's even more peaceful and even more serene. So I really enjoy going there and enjoying the contrast of old and new. And it's not a museum. It's a place that is a working space and very relevant in modern day Korea. Joge Buddhism is the main order of Buddhism here in Korea. And if you could turn to the Buddhist channel on TV, you may well see ceremonies and sermons that are being conducted and broadcast live, just like us today, live. And of course, the awesome thing about seeing it at night is that it's all lit up. So if we were here maybe a week ago, you'd have seen the courtyard in front would be full of lotus, like big pots full of lotus plants. And that was really awesome. It felt a little cluttered. It felt, there was a lot going on there. They've cleared all that out to prepare for the next festival, which is the symbol of the next festival is the chrysanthemum, which is a kind of flower. And it represents the spread of Buddhism around the world, basically. And they're setting up for that right now. So there are some chrysanthemums in there already. There'll be a lot more as the weeks pass. But for now, it's a really unique time where it's nice and open, nice and clean and open. So I hope you enjoy that. I know I do. If you want to see the Chrysanthemum Festival in full swing, you'll have to join us for our next evening e-bike tour, which I believe is next Friday. I'm sure they'll have it all set up by then. Okay. Join me. Here we are entering the temple. And you can't really see the extent of the colors because the light, the quality of the light is quite yellow and it's deceiving. But there are 4 colors up there. There's the green, the blue, the red, and the yellow. Of course, there's white and black in there as well. And those 4 colors you'll see also on royal structures like the palace as well. And they each represent a certain quality. Green being benevolence, red being health and strength, yellow, empire and wealth, and blue, purity of minds, the mountains, and water. Wow. To my right over there, we're looking at that's the Buddhism Museum. Then there's this massive tablet on the back of a turtle, which I see in all Buddhist temples, but not normally as large as that. It's got the scripture written on it. Here, the main body of the temple has the story of Buddha's journey painted on the facade on the outside. The symbol of Jogye Buddhism up at the top, the circle with 3 dots, and this beautiful organism out the front. This tree is the white lacebark pine, dating back over 500 years. In front of the main building, you can see this tree here. It's a Sephora, and that one is over 300 years old. It's got lanterns in it. If you want to have the name of yourself or your family member put on one of those lanterns, you can buy it from the ticket office behind us here. And you buy a ticket, you write your name on it and your blessings that you want to offer, and it gets put in the tree on one of these lanterns. If you were to glance into the temple, you'd also notice there are more lanterns on the rooftop on the inside, and that's another place where you can have your name put for a fee, and your prayers can be shared and reinforced by the prayers inside the temple there. So inside you can see the 3 Buddhas, and if we walk over this way, you'll see a 4th one, a smaller one off to the right. Can you see that one over there? Yeah. So there are actually 4 effigies. That small Buddha. There are 4 effigies of Buddha in gold, statues in the main body of the temple there. Each one has his hand in a different position, which represents a different virtue. So, for example, you can see this first Buddha here is holding a ball, which is a medicine ball. So he represents health. Love the contrast that you can see up here. You know, we've got the nature, the trees, we've got the traditional building, and then we've got the modern building in the background. Now, Kevin was telling me earlier that the temple, I know it closes pretty late. I don't know exactly what time, but I'm sure it's around about 11 o'clock or later at night. And then it opens at 3 a.m. So, so if you're very diligent, you can come and visit the temple at 3 a.m. in the morning. You'd be welcomed in for your prayers. The place where you can do your prayers is here. You can do it in front of the temple. Due to Corona, I think people are not allowed inside at the moment. You can pray in front of the temple in the courtyard, or you can come here and light a candle and incense. The incense is free. You just take some sticks of incense, 3 sticks, light it at the candles, then you would face the pagoda and the temple, you say your prayer, bow 3 times, and then put the incense in the sand here to let your prayer and wishes be released to the heavens. And this is, if you were here with us right now, you'd be experiencing a wonderful aroma. The incense really does smell very good. There's an amazing feeling of calm every time I come here. Just feel very relaxed and calm in this space. Well, this is the last spot on our tour, and speak for myself, and I'm sure I can speak for Kevin and Taeyong as well. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for all the comments and suggestions. Some of them were quite funny, made us laugh. So thanks for joining us at visiting the UFO down at Dongdaemun and seeing the night city lights. I hope that you can join us again on our next e-bike tour. That would be the morning e-bike tour on next Friday, or the evening e-bike tour at the same time you're watching today on next Friday. And if you want to offer some support, you can find both of these tours on Airbnb. So and Klook as well.
K-Look.
So you can join Klook, or you can join us on Airbnb, and that would really help us continue doing what we're doing, which is showing this beautiful city to you guys around the world. So from me, my name is Vincent. Bye-bye. From Kevin, see you next time. And from Taeyong, say goodbye, don't be rude.
I'm sorry.
Good night, guys.